So now there's been a fight at a Toyota dealership in California. This is actually kind of big news because I absolutely love Toyotas. They're probably the best vehicle you could buy. And a lot of people agree. They love Toyotas as well. And and so a sales manager and a regional manager or somebody got into this fight in California.
Way. This is crazy.
You're going to hurt the Toyota.
I'm telling you guys, I don't know what you guys are going to go in jail right now.
This is insane. What is going on? Who is in charge here?
You want to be here so we can go to the jail and go, or leave the block right now.
Come on.
I bet somebody came in, sales manager and general sales manager in Milpitas, California. I'll bet somebody came in, was looking to buy a new Toyota, and was like, I'm paying cash. I'm paying like $25K cash or $30K cash or whatever it is to buy a new vehicle, and they're just fighting with each other over that instant sales commission at sticker price. It's a sales tactic. They're going to come back and tell you something like, you wouldn't believe the fight I just got into with my manager trying to get you this deal. Well, ma'am, I had to beat the shit out of the general manager, but I got them down to $39,000 out the door. Now can I interest you in gap insurance, our extended warranty program, or our new monthly heated seat subscription? Undercoating will cost another punch to the gut. Cherry Lundegaard, is that you? So anyway, as I was saying, it comes with front seat heating. Once you put that True Coat on, you're mucking it up, Jerry. Subscription for features and cars. That's always been there is crazy. Soon they'll just provide the frame and you have to build the rest of the car yourself. I'd never buy one of these subscription cars. Like hell, I'm buying a new car just to be told I can't use its features. Actually, I've changed my mind. I'm going to a car dealership without a subscription model. Then he beats your ass. Dude, if I were a customer in there, whether I was involved or not, I demand a discount for having to witness that bullshit. Without any markup adjustments. My first job when I was 17 was at a car dealership in '06. Subsequently, the first time I ever saw people do coke like it was a casual sip of coffee. Yep, I was a service writer at a dealership for years. I saw plenty of people doing coke in their cars, including the managers. We got kicked out of our yearly summer boat trip because there were too many fist fights each year. Coke is fairly common in any business running on sales. I've seen it from the bar scene down to funeral homes. It's called pocket coffee for a reason. Yeah, I saw a sales account manager do a line of coke off his desk at a safety EMC test facility. He also used to keep a flask of vodka in his desk, but he's been promoted since then. Ha ha! So you can work longer, so you can do more coke. So you can work harder, so you can work longer. One of the biggest car dealers in South Georgia got his start running coke over state lines back in the day. A lot of dealerships put up a front for drug running schemes. How come every guy that works at a dealership looks exactly like the kind of guy that works in a dealership? They simultaneously all look like guys that eat at Chili's 3 times a week and used to be in a frat before the dad bod kicked in. I guess that's what you would call top G. It's like T-Mobile store manager guy. Oh, so you're one of those woke, happy Honda Days people? Nobody's mentioning that George is at the candy vending machine trying to get a Twix bar? Parkland case's judge has been sanctioned for showing bias by hugging parents of the murdered school children. Justice Thomas? Oh, and there's the little piss baby. Nothing but a piece of shit, always was and will be. My wife may have committed some light treason. If justice existed, this prick would be tried for treason. But he already paid off the judge. He had his wife cut him a check. Then had his wife deposit it in an offshore account. Then he accesses from his buddy's Giga yacht. Haha, Giga yacht. I've decided that if I get a little pet again, I'm going to name him Gigabyte. Don't have a justice system and never did. We have a legal system. There's a viral difference. If slavery still existed, this prick would defend the slave owners. Ha ha ha. I thought they based that on his Uncle Thomas. If justice existed, this prick would never have been confirmed. The bribes most certainly are confirmed. They have yet to be tried and found guilty and a sentence passed, but the bribes are now confirmed. He wouldn't have made it through confirmation. Those hearings would have tarred and feathered him to the point where he could no longer return to civilized society. But they fucked it up. The victim is the one who got punished. Why is the most racist person on the Supreme Court a black guy? Uncle Clarence doesn't give a shit about rolling back rights as long as it doesn't affect him. And none of them do. It's the conservative way. I think that he thinks he would be spared, and he would not. Black conservative is a position that is always available and pays well. A lot of people are willing to sell out their entire fucking race for a comfortable life. All you have to do is play the right role, and the billionaires will keep you happy. Black conservative elites are far snobbier than white ones. Take the challenges of blackness and then deny them with extreme religion and ideology. And humiliation in the case of Clarence, and Kunta Kinte is saying, sure, call me Toby. His shared American generation is divided between those that grew emotionally and morally in the 60s and the 70s, and those doubling down on denial, God, Reaganism, in response to humiliations like civil rights, McCarthyism, Vietnam, Nixon, Iran-Contra, etc., or in his case, Anita Hill. They've been manic forever, and once Limbaugh and Murdoch arrived, they experienced a yo-yo of fake highs, followed by inevitable failure when reality bites back. They're insane at this point. Black conservative is intrinsically a con. I love knowing that when I die, I won't be in the history books for being a piece of shit. That's sad. I don't know who's honestly surprised by this. Man has been a piece of shit his old greedy, dishonest life. Take money, but not a hug, for fuck's sake. Good meme, bad reality. Literally nothing good that can be said about Republican reprobates in Congress or stooges on the Supreme Court. Nothing. This is fucking pathetic. A guy says, can we be honest about the 6-week thing? My wife knew all 4 times she was pregnant within a week of conception. Of course, I call bullshit on that. And JoJo says, I've been pregnant 5 times, Mike. 3 ended in a miscarriage. I didn't know I was pregnant before 6 weeks with any of them. I have irregular cycles. Always have. But hey, that's good for your wife. And here's the response to her. Maybe keep your legs closed. That might work. Like I said before, this is how these people think. Just completely ignores her absolutely factual, real experience as a woman who has been pregnant 5 times by mocking her sex life. GOP men don't even understand basic women's anatomy, how periods happen, or gestation. Fuck, they still don't believe in the female orgasm, and over 90% of them don't know how a period works. And according to Master of Pleasure Ben Shapiro, they think all women are dry as a bone. Ugh. Ben's wife has to be on SSRIs. Zero chance she could cope with being married to him without chemical assistance. Ben Shapiro's Master of Pleasure is the shittiest Metallica cover album ever. To be fair, how could they understand female orgasms when they've never seen one? Because they don't want to see one. They think real ladies don't have orgasms. They're just supposed to lie there, murmuring dutifully about how hot their partners are while mentally making up their shopping list. A lot of them actually think you can't get pregnant if you don't have an orgasm. So rape survivors that get pregnant are just lying. You see, a woman can control when she gets pregnant. If a woman is legitimately raped, then she won't get pregnant because her body shuts down. This is an actual quote from Todd Akin, a Republican from Missouri. Yeah, they don't believe in something they've never personally witnessed unless it's a gun-toting white Jesus, of course. They don't even understand the anatomy of men, but think they're experts on women. And this is why all this shit needs to be shut down. You don't understand reality. You don't get to have a say in policy. I had dinner with a colleague last night who said when she took her son to the ER for a broken arm, she waited over 10 hours in the ER with the waiting room filled with illegal immigrants. We're working on a solution. So let me get this straight. Contrary Mary's friend looked around at ER, saw brown kids, and immediately arrived at, illegal immigrant children. You know, I don't have to read further into this to know that's exactly what she thought. Like those people caught on video bitching that they only want white doctors. That's what they want. There's a family in town that can't speak English, and people often refer to them as illegals. But I've seen their passports, and I know that's not true. I'll guarantee there weren't illegals in that ER either. Even if there were, it's an emergency room. They're humans in need of medical treatment. There are so many layers of terrible human being happening in this tweet. Looks like she's looking for a whites-only express lane. They don't want an express lane so much as the dedicated slow lane for people who aren't white. I'm sure she'd care much less about waiting the exact same amount of time as long as minorities would have to wait longer. So, yeah, that's still a whites-only express lane. almost like healthcare should be run as a guaranteed service, not a business. Well, this is just the American healthcare system in general. When Americans talk about having lower waiting lists or better care, it comes by virtue of excluding the people they don't like from that fast, affordable care that rich people can just get the best of. I don't fucking care if they're illegal or if my premiums were to go up to help them. These are human beings in immediate need of care, and I want those needs met. Jesus fucking Christ, how is that a hard concept for these assholes? Because a lot of them have been taught that the only way for them to succeed is that somebody else needs to be disadvantaged or suffer. Zero-sum game for end-stage capitalism right here. It gets really hard for them around the whole their people part. These people are just scumbags. Don't worry, there's a solid chance her friend is completely made up. So likely she's just all one terrible person. Exactly what I'm thinking. This doctor wants to let people die because of their skin color. In fact, isn't that illegal? I don't think she should be a doctor at all. No joke, if she is this doctor and she works for any major hospital, she's out on her ass if they find her posting. She's an MD and doesn't understand how the ERs work. You're not getting seen for a long-ass time if your situation is minor. Dude, Republicans are literally walking up to people in Lego stores with rainbow pin and accusing them of being groomers. And they're 100% serious. Their brains are broken. There is no math happening to come to a conclusion. It's very simple to them. LGBTQ, pedophile. Brown people, illegal. Woman with dyed hair, lesbian. White man who is defrauding charities, good upstanding citizen. She won't answer. I'm curious how your friend knew the documentation status of people in the ER. Did they violate HIPAA by accessing their medical records? Or was it just a broad generalization based upon their appearance? I'd like to know. Same people who tell immigrants to speak English don't even have a 6th grade command of it. Yes, Skylord Guy, this is absolutely true. To them, illegal immigrant doesn't mean somebody that has entered the country illegally, but someone who they think shouldn't be in the country. Illegal immigrant to them means anyone who doesn't look and act like them. I've seen Karens telling indigenous people to go back to their country. They don't care where people came from, whether or not they were born here or who they are. If they are not a white evangelical Trump worshiping bigot, they're illegal. There used to be this woman where I work who was straight up batshit crazy on top of racist. She's one of those people who believe crystals heal everything. She loves to tell anyone who would listen that white people came from the white oak trees and brown people came from mud, and thus white people are the true natives and brown people are bad and shit like that. They will make up anything to make themselves more important. My theory is that they know they're absolutely worthless as a person and they've done literally nothing they can be proud of their whole lives. But they have to feel important. So they convince themselves that their skin color or race makes them inherently superior. Not something that they had to work for or accomplish. It's just something they have, innate to them. But because it's all they've got, they have to use that to claim it as something to be proud of. Last bit is key. That and ill education. They all think that given the right time, they would be chilling with Mozart or Bach or Da Vinci or be a Praetorian Guard or some senator of Rome. No, motherfucker, you'd be a dirt farmer or a carpenter or a serf. Your life would have been garbage. The Tradcasts are the best because they both want to return to a system that itself said, yeah, this sucks, maybe the Protestants were right about speaking Latin, and at the same time super concerned about pedophiles while being in an organization that covered up pedophilia for centuries. These people are dumb as hell. Holy crap. Do not get me even started on Tradcasts. Almost all the foster homes I was raised in were Catholic. The amount of hypocrisy was staggering. One of them straight up had a priest who raped a boy at gunpoint, then tried to hire someone to kill the child when the child told what happened and the federal authorities got involved. This is the Harper, Texas, St. Anthony's Catholic Church for anyone who doesn't believe me. I met the priest. He creeped me out and kept trying to get my foster parents to let him have me over for Bible rap sessions, but I flat out refused to go. And after everything came out, they tried to cover for him. They tried to blame the child. They tried to paint him as a liar acting out for attention, even after many other children came forward and there was proof of what happened. They still stood up for the bastard instead of taking him out back like a rabid dog the way they should have. Like using Soros instead of Jews. Nope, that's globalists. Yeah, you tell 'em, Fuzz. Mud is the source of the earth. Water is the source of the earth. So I guess little dolphins and sea lions are actually superior. Yay! If water is the source of the earth,
then I guess all of the little fishies are superior. Yay! My Puerto Rican husband, who was born in Illinois, regularly gets told to go back to his country. You know, that's something we can take care of in one fell swoop. Make that phrase illegal. Up the laws and the penalties for using hate speech. And go back to your country should be included as hate speech. And hate speech should be arrestable and prosecutorial offenses. That'll take care of that. And this type of shit will keep your pigs busy. You see, if they have to go after people for saying my freedom of speech, then they will be spending a lot less time wasting time on going after innocent people, people with a little bit of drugs or alcohol, children. A lot of these problems will fix themselves. Oh yes, the word genocide does come to mind. Florida Senate committee has unanimously passed a bill that would give the death penalty to those who commit sex crimes against children. I want you to read this while simultaneously remembering that Florida, as well as 20 other states, have been passing various forms of being trans or in drag is a sexual offense against minors. Do you understand where this is going? So, I guess they're going to execute all conservatives that are caught being pedos, right? Right? No, Florida laws don't apply to white conservative Christians. A law without equal implementation and enforcement is no law, it's an excuse. I sent this list to my white supremacist father-in-law. He texted back that there are tons of liberal pedos. I told him to send me the data. Haven't heard from him since. Oh, God. This is called whataboutism. Did the same with my buddy. Still waiting. That is a frighteningly long list. Yep. came here to say just this. Christian and predatory officials will be first, right? Or will they mysteriously be found unable to prosecute due to lack of evidence, despite like 500 videos? They are pandering to an ignorant electorate. Well, duh. That's all it is. This isn't about their white Christian brethren. This is about committing genocide against trans people. I'm so fucking sick of this shit. Now let's talk about the implications of a Speaker of the House carrying an extramarital affair with a lobbyist who is seeking multiple millions for clients from the legislature. Sure, there were no favors done, right, Sexton? And to cap this whole sordid mess off, the pretty blonde lobbyist who has now been identified as Sexton's mistress is married to, wait for it, the Deputy Communications Director for Governor Bill Lee. You're a sick, sick puppy, Cameron. You fucked around and Tennessee found out. So the Tennessee speaker who went out of his way to kick out the 2 black legislators for protesting not only doesn't live in his own district as is legally required, but is also having an affair with a woman lobbying for state tax dollars. I think Tarantino is guest directing. I think the young people are finally super fucking pissed off, along with having the very real ability to do something about it, either via tech avenues or their vote, which they are now old enough to do as well. This is the biggest version of fuck around find out ever. I'm late Gen X, almost millennial, and thrilled the youth are stepping up like this. From your lips to the dog's ears. Not just that, he gave a huge voice to the guys that were kicked out. I'm from Ohio, had no idea who they were a few weeks ago, now everybody does. To be fair, this is just the one we know about. Oh, but pay no mind to that, dude. The drag queens are coming for your children. Thoughts and players. I'm waiting to hear that she has already gotten pregnant by him and he paid for her abortion as well, with laundered campaign funds. You forgot the part where she's a lobbyist trying to get up to hundreds of millions of state dollars for her client. That asshole is my rep. I vote against him every single time. Doesn't help that he often runs unopposed. Then fucking run against him. God, I wonder how many times that shit happens. They win because nobody is running against them. That's the efficacy of right-wing propaganda at work. The punchline of every article or story is always that Democrats are evil and hate you and the country. Convince your base of this and nothing else matters. It's essentially a requirement at this point for them to lie outright. They want to rule according to the Bible. Here's what the Bible says about adultery, just saying. Both of them should be put to death. The Bible also says a body doesn't get a soul until their first breath. But these motherfuckers believes a bundle of cells at 6 weeks is a person. They don't give two shits what the Bible actually says. It's another tool to use as a bludgeon or a crowbar to force in shit laws that help nobody and tries to control everybody. I thought the same thing about Duncan Hunter until his scorned wife turned state's witness. I think the collective consciousness is changing for the better in these types of situations. Young people see the BS and are out voting like mofos. I'm cautiously optimistic. I guess we gotta wait for some of these fucking boomers to die off first. Maybe if they elect more GOP, their Social Security will finally be cut and they could die faster. Cameron Sexton is a 52-year-old, so he's a Gen Xer. If you're waiting for boomers to die off, you're part of the apathy problem. You know, except the median age in Congress is something like fucking 150. Boomers dying off in greater numbers would help. Democrats need to jump on this, especially the Democrats in Tennessee. Go after them first by ripping off the taxpayers. before ripping off the taxpayers. No way should he be getting that sweet per diem every fucking day. He should be forced to pay all that money back. Lobbying in America is called bribery in other countries. We actually made it legal. The only thing surprising me about this story is the fact that the woman isn't about 12 years old. Yep. Sounds about white. Sounds about right. Okay, I'm taking off. I got a full tummy, and I'm getting tired. And I want to play some more Resident Evil. See ya.